not very positive on real estate today in most categories. I mean, there's certainly sectors that are very profitable, like data centers and things of that nature, where you see the economy going. But if you look at, for example, commercial and retail or warehouses, because there's obviously lots of shipping. I saw the other day, it's interesting, there are 30 million delivery vans in the United States, which would mean if there's only one driver in one shift, 10% of the population is delivering stuff. So, I mean, warehouses, data centers, I think those are ones that there's an increasing demand for them, could be real value. Commercial real estate is a train wreck. I mean, you have this huge cliff of debt coming due, massive vacancy rates, across the United States in most markets with regard to it. Obviously, with people working from home as opposed to going to the office, which I think will be a continuing trend. Commercial real estate has very limited value. There was I think the UBS building in New York City was sold for like $60 million, and it was purchased for like $900 million only a decade ago. So, I mean, there's just not a demand for it, and you actually have a very large shadow overcapacity for people who have leases that will run off in terms of that. Residential real estate, I think, is incredibly overvalued at the present time in terms of, I take a different view on real estate. Everyone says there's a housing shortage. There's not a housing shortage. There's a lack of affordability with regard to it. I mean, this country can build large numbers of homes. People just can't afford to buy them. It's not only the increase in interest rates back to normal levels, insurance is up, taxes with government spending for home, property taxes are through the roof. So it's not just the basic, paying for the mortgage, it's paying for insurance and it's paying for, property taxes. I had a friend in Florida who complained that his insurance bill was up 3 times. And I thought it was the insurance companies were gouging. I said, well, how much has your home increased in value? Your home's gone up 3 times in value, and that's what they're insuring is the replacement of that. And plus the fact there's a few little things like hurricanes recently that have kind of made Florida a very unprofitable state for insurance coverage. So I think if you look at the problem you have with residential real estate today is simply the lack of affordability. You see home builders trying to overcome that by offering like a 5-year bullet mortgage at a low rate. They just take the extra, the interest that they forgive and build it into the price, into their profit margin, cut their profit margin for that. That's going to cause a real problem down the road, because at the end of 5 years, if rates haven't gone down to the low rates that the builders are offering, people are going to start losing their homes with regard to that. What's protected people right now is that so many people thoughtfully refinance with a fixed rate mortgage when rates are really low. So they're pretty much insulated from that effect. I saw something the other day I was looking at. It's kind of interesting when you talk about a housing shortage. When pre-pandemic, or when the pandemic came around, there's a huge migration of population from high tax state, northern states, and California into southern states that had low taxes. Home builders reacted to that and started building homes like crazy in the South. If you look right now, it's interesting that the vacancy rate, or the unsold home inventory in southern states, has grown rapidly in the last year or two, primarily because that migration has slowed down. It's very difficult for people to sell their homes for what they think they're worth in the Northeast and move to Florida. So that you've seen the migration into the southern states slow, but the home builders it's a lagged effect. So you now have actually a rising supply of vacancies within many of the southern states. So I'm not a big bull on real estate, as you can tell right now, either in the residential sector. Certainly commercial is a train wreck. Retail, because so much is going online, retail is I don't think is a growth sector at all. I do think warehousing and data centers and things like that, but that's not the major portion of the market.